Good morning, children. Hope you all have had a very good weekend. And have you all got all the notes that I have sent from the Sound of Music? Both sessions, part 1 and 2, Evelyn Glennie and Bismillah Khan. You just have to write the question answers, okay? Now let us, we have finished doing the 2 parts. You all have read that? Have you all read the 2 parts about Evelyn Glennie and Bismillah Khan? Read the text thoroughly? So, now we'll be doing thinking about the text. Thinking about the text is just a practice of your section A actually. When you read a passage and when you are given a set of questions, a comprehension passage, and comprehending that, understanding that, and writing answers for the questions given. So here there are a set of questions given. Tick the right answer. The dash, I hope you all have the text with you right now. Or look at the screen. Thinking about the text. The dash was a reeded noise maker. 2 options are given there, Shenai and Pungi. So you have to tick Pungi. The Pungi was a reeded noise maker. So remember, Emperor Aurangzeb banned in his court, banned the use of Pungi in his court. Dash transformed the Pungi into a Shenai. Who first transformed the shape and the form of Pungi into a Shenai? A barber. 3 answers are given, 3 options are given. Bismillah Khan, a barber, Ali Bugs. Who transformed the Pungi into a Shenai? A barber. Tick the option, a barber. Then third one, Bismillah Khan's paternal ancestors were professional musicians. Paternal ancestors means from his father's side. They were professional musicians. The fourth question, Bismillah Khan learned to play the Shenai from Ali Bugs, Paigambar Bugs, Ustad Faiz Khan. From whom did he learn to play the Shenai? Ali Bugs. The first option is correct. Remember, if option numbers are given in your question, you have to mention the option number also. Option 1 or option A, you have to mention. Then the fifth question. Bismillah Khan's first trip abroad was to Afghanistan. 3 countries are given there, Afghanistan, USA, Canada. You have to mark Afghanistan. Now the second set of questions. Find the words in the text which show Ustad Bismillah Khan's feelings about the items listed below. His feelings, how he reacted. That is given in his own words in the text. Only if you have read the text well, you will be able to answer these type of questions. This again is a practice of your section A comprehension passage. Understanding a passage and answering the questions given. So the first set is Bismillah Khan's feelings about teaching children music, about the film world, migrating to the USA, playing at temples, getting the Bharat Ratna, the banks of the Ganga, leaving Benares and Damron. How he felt, his feelings. He very much wanted something. So took it in the positive sense, and certain things he did it in the negative sense, and neutral also given. So you are asked to mark. Teaching children music. He said children should be taught music, Hindustani music. So tick positive. His attitude towards the film world. How many films did he do? Just 2 films. He was not attracted by the glamour and artificiality of the celluloid world, film world. So he took it in the negative sense. Tick negative. Then migrating to the USA. He was not ready to do that. He didn't want to go. So he said no. Negative. Playing at temples, performing at temples, positive. Getting the Bharat Ratna, again positive. The banks of the Ganga, positive. Leaving Benares and Damron, he was not ready to do that. He didn't want to leave Banaras or Damron. So tick positive. Now take the next page. The third question is answer these questions in 30 to 40 words. Those are all 2-mark questions. You will be getting 1-mark questions extracts, 2-mark questions short answer, and 8-mark question long answer from your text, both the texts, Beehive and Moments. So you can expect questions from Beehive and Moments for the exam, but for the upcoming exam, the first assessment, you will be having only grammar and your Beehive text. So these are all 2-mark questions. We will discuss that after we do the grammar part, grammar and vocabulary. Then again, thinking about language. Look at these sentences. Evelyn was determined to live a normal life. To live a normal life. What was her determination? To live a normal life. Evelyn managed to conceal her growing deafness from friends and teachers. To conceal her growing deafness. See the word use of to. To plus verb. To live, to conceal. To plus verb. To and a verb. To live. To, use of to and a verb, live. In the second sentence, to conceal. Use of to and a verb, conceal. Conceal means hide. So the italicized parts answer the questions. What was Evelyn determined to do? So italicized is to live a normal life. Those part of the sentence is written in italics. The italicized parts answer the question, what was Evelyn determined to do? Evelyn was determined to live a normal life. So that part of the sentence that is given in italics shows that what she was determined to do, to live a normal life. See the second sentence. Evelyn managed to conceal her growing deafness from friends and teachers. In the second sentence, what did Evelyn manage to do? They begin with a to verb, to conceal. She managed to conceal her growing deafness again. So remember the use of to plus verb in a sentence. Now complete the following sentences beginning with a to verb. Try to answer questions in brackets. So what you need to answer is given in bracket. The question to that is given in brackets. You have to read the question and to that you have to write an answer. So the school sports team hopes, you have a school sports team, maybe a football team or a basketball team. The school sports team hopes dash. What does it hope to do? Team is one, no, collective noun. So you can take it as one. What does it hope to do is given in bracket. Answer to that is the school sports team hopes to win the trophy. Hopes to win the trophy or to win the tournament. To win the trophy or to win the tournament. So the answer to what does it hope to do? To win the trophy or to win the tournament. Any one you can write. Second question, we all want dash. See what is given in bracket. What do we all want to do? What do we all want to do? We all want to live our lives better. We all want to lead a better life. We all want to live our lives better, or we all want to lead a better life. To plus verb, to live. To win. In the first sentence it is to win. In the second sentence it is to live. Remember the use of to plus verb. Then the third question. They advise the hearing impaired child's mother. Hearing impaired means deaf. Hearing impaired child's mother dash. In the bracket it is given what did they advise her to do? Verb form of advice is advise. What did they advise her to do? They advised the hearing impaired child's mother to send her to a school for the deaf. To send her to a school for the deaf. That is the answer. The question is, what did they advise her to do? To send her to a school for the deaf. To plus verb, to send. Now the fourth question. The authorities permitted us to dash. The authorities permitted us to dash. In the bracket it is given, what did the authorities permit us to do? The authorities at the zoo. The authorities permitted us to take photographs of the wild animals. To take photographs of the wild animals. To plus verb, to take. A musician decided to dash. Next question. A musician decided to dash. In the bracket it is given, what did the musician decide to do? What did the musician decide to do? So you can write the answer. A musician decided to give a solo performance. A musician decided to give a solo performance. So to plus verb, the use of to plus verb, to give. So see, in all the sentences, to plus verb is used. To win the trophy, to live our lives better, to send her to a school for the deaf, to take photographs of the wild animals, to give a solo performance. Remember the use of to plus verb and completing, making it a sensible sentence. Now the next question is again a practice of your section A. You will be asked to read a passage and you will be asked to find the meaning of the word or a word that means this from the passage given. There will be a question like that. So, now you have just read, in the previous class you have read the text Bismillah Khan, on Bismillah Khan. So these questions are from Bismillah Khan. From the text on Bismillah Khan, find the words and phrases that match the definitions and write them down. Definitions are given. The number of the paragraph where you find the words or phrases has been given for you in brackets. The home of royal people. In para 1, there is a word palace. You have to write the word palace there. This again is a practice of your section A in your question paper. The home of royal people. Palace. It comes in para 1. It is mentioned 1 in bracket. That means para 1. Palace. Now the second question. The state of being alone. The state of being alone. It comes in para 5 of Bismillah Khan's text. The word is solitude. Solitude means the state of being alone. The third question, a part which is absolutely necessary. You cannot avoid that. That word comes in para 2, it is mentioned. Indispensable. Indispensable. Next question, fourth question, to do something not done before. It comes in para 5. You have not done, you are going to do now in order to make it better. It comes in para 5. The word is improvise. Improvise. I-M-P-R-O-V-I-S-E. The fifth question, without much effort. It comes in para 13 of Bismillah Khan's text. The lesson, without much effort. Para 13, effortlessly. Effortlessly. See the last question, quickly and in large quantities. Quickly and in large quantities. It comes in para 9, thick and fast. Quickly and in large quantities means thick and fast. Hope you all have understood how to answer questions from comprehension passage given. A set of questions, not just question answers. Questions like this may be asked for the exam, not this exam. These are all multiple, the questions asked would be multiple choice questions for the upcoming exam. Now next, tick the right answer. When something is revived, two options are given in bracket. It remains dead, it lives again. Revival, revives means lives again. So option number 2 you have to tick. Remains dead, lives again. Two options are given. Option number 2 is correct, lives again. Second question, when a government bans something, it wants it to be stopped or started. Two options are given, stopped, started. Option 1 is right, stopped. Bans something means stops. When something is considered auspicious, an auspicious moment is a fortunate moment. So you welcome it or avoid it. Two options are given. Do you welcome it or avoid it? You welcome it. Auspicious. Welcome it. When something is considered auspicious, you welcome it. See the next question. When we take to something, we find it boring or interesting. We find it interesting. When we take to something, we find it interesting. Boring is the first option, interesting is the second option. So interesting you have to tick. All these you have to do in the text only, need not write in the notebook. Text exercises all to be done in the text. The fifth question, when you appreciate something, you dash. See the bracket given, in the bracket, find it good and useful. When you appreciate something, you find it good and useful, or you find it of no use. When you appreciate something, you find it good and useful. The first option is right. You have to tick the first option. Option number 1, find it good and useful is the answer. When you replicate something, you do it dash. Replicating the temples in Benares, one of his students did that in US, remember? When you replicate something, you do it for the first time, that is option number 1. The second option is for the second time. So which is the right answer? When you replicate something, you do it the second time, for the second time. So option number 2 is right, for the second time you tick. Now the last question in that set, when we come to terms with something, it is dash. I repeat, when we come to terms with something, it is dash. Options are still upsetting or no longer upsetting. When do you come to terms with something? When you decide to go with that. No longer upsetting. You decide to choose that. No longer upsetting. So when we come to terms with something, it is no longer upsetting. So option 2 is correct. You have to tick option 2. Hope you all have understood. Now take the dictionary work given next. Mark it as homework. There are a set of questions on the next page. You have to do that on your own. Write in your text only. And you are asked to make sentences also. So you have to refer the dictionary and do that. That is why the heading is given dictionary work. Children have to do it alone. You have to refer the dictionary, see the form of the word used, then make sentences using the words and phrases. So let us do that. The first sentence is, the sound of the Shehnai is auspicious. The sound of the Shehnai is auspicious. The auspicious sound of the Shehnai is usually heard at marriages. See the same word used in different forms in the two sentences. So the adjective auspicious can occur after the verb be. In the first sentence, see the use of the word be. Verb be is. Is be. Be. So auspicious comes after that be. Is be form. Be. So it is used after the verb be, as in the first sentence. Is auspicious. After the verb be, written in is form, auspicious comes. So after the verb it comes. Or before a noun, as in the second. The auspicious sound. So that in the second sentence, it comes before a noun. Before the noun sound it comes, auspicious. So it is used in two different ways in the two sentences. The auspicious sound of the Shehnai is usually heard at marriages. So in the second sentence, it is used before a noun. But there are some adjectives. When will you use a word before a noun? When you use to describe that noun. So that comes in the form of adjective. So, but there are some adjectives which can be used after the verb be and not before a noun. For example, Ustad Faiz Khan was overjoyed. Was overjoyed. So it can be used after the verb be. Be here is was. But not before a noun. Means you can't say the overjoyed man. So it can't be used in the adjective form before a noun. So for example, Ustad Faiz Khan was overjoyed. It can be used after the verb was, but it cannot be used before the noun man, the overjoyed man. That is wrong. So here look at these entries from the Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary. From the dictionary, the page is given here. Read that and you refer the dictionary and do the exercise given on the next page. Consult your dictionary and complete the following table. The first one has been done for you. Actually, I have done all the answers here. Consulting your dictionary and completing the following table. The first one has been done for you. You have to do that as homework. Please mark that as homework. The first word is indispensable. It can be used both before and after the verb be. So you have to tick the third column. And you have to make sentence. Remember, use these words in phrases or sentences of your own. Indispensable. Mark the third column. You have to do this once again after referring the dictionary. It is better to do after referring the dictionary. For the time being, you just tick it. Okay. Indispensable, both before and after the verb be. So the third column you have to tick. Impressed, not before noun. So the second column you have to tick. Afraid, again not before noun. The second column you have to tick. Outdoor, only before noun. You say outdoor unit, no? Outdoor unit. So it can be used only before noun. So tick the first column. Next word is paternal, both before and after the verb be. So the third column you have to tick for paternal. Countless. The second last word is countless. That also can be used both before and after the verb be. So the third column. Priceless. Both before and after the verb be can be used. So the third column again. So actually I have explained this exercise. No need of doing this once again. You just find out any 5 words from the dictionary like this that can be used only before nouns. Certain words that can be used only before nouns. Not before noun. Before, both before and after the verb be. Make a table like this and do it. Any 5 words. That is the homework. Please mark that. Consulting a dictionary and completing the following table. These words I have done for you, but you have to choose 5 more words from the dictionary and do it like this. Understood? And use these phrases, words and phrases in sentences of your own. Next is a speaking exercise that we'll do as class activity when you come back to school. You know, anchoring. This is all about introducing a guest for your arts club inauguration or for your cultural fest or something. Speaking. Imagine the famous singer Kishori Amonkar is going to visit your school. This is a speaking activity to be done in class. You have to prepare. Do this in your assignment book. Note down points in your assignment book. What you are going to speak for the class activity when you come back to school. Make a note. It is a practice of anchoring. Imagine the famous singer Kishori Amonkar is going to visit your school. You have been asked to introduce her to the audience before her performance. Then how would you introduce her? Imagine you are the head boy or the head girl of the school. You are given the duty in order to introduce the guest before her performance. And all about the guest is given here. So here is some information about Kishori Amonkar you can find on the internet. Read the passage and make notes of the main points about her parentage, what you are going to say. You can't copy down the whole passage when you are on stage. So before going to the stage, you have to make a note of what you are going to say. And you can keep the paper in your hand and you are going to introduce the singer. Her parentage, the school of music she belongs to, her achievements, her inspiration and awards. This also you have to make a note in your assignment book. See, all about Kishori Amonkar is given, and use your notes on Kishori Amonkar to introduce her to an imaginary audience. Now you are going to speak in front of an imaginary audience. Remember that you are going to do that online arts club inauguration. So use your notes on Kishori Amonkar to introduce her to an imaginary audience. So you will have the arts club inauguration this year. You will be having that. So I ask you to make a note of the guest who is going to come before you, and you are given the duty to introduce that guest to an imaginary audience. That also you have to do. So 2 things you have to do in your assignment book. One is about Kishori Amonkar and one is about the guest. Imagine that you are going to introduce the guest in front of an imaginary audience. You are given the duty, you are given the charge to introduce him or her before an imaginary audience. So that also, after watching the arts club inauguration, you have to write that. Understood? So 2 things you have to write in your assignment book. One about Kishori Amonkar, one about another guest. Now it is writing. If you work hard and know where you are going, you will get there, says Evelyn Glennie. You have now read about 2 musicians, Evelyn Glennie and Ustad Bismillah Khan. Do you think that they both worked hard? Yes, they have worked very hard. Where did they want to go? Answer these questions in 2 paragraphs, one on each of the 2 musicians. Actually, I have sent these answers to you along with the other notes. I have sent the answers. I have sent the answers to you. So please go through the answers. We'll read the answers, question answers once again.